Hey, here we go again. Christy Mattoon here with Mind Rewire, answering another question. And it's another question that I've actually probably answered before. But as you grow and as you do this a little bit more, you get even more ideas. And so I'm going to share some of those new ideas with you that I have about manifesting and law of attraction. So if that's of interest to you, definitely watch this video, like, subscribe, share it if it really resonates, because there's a lot of people out there trying to figure this out. And I believe there's 3 keys to manifestation. I believe it gets messed up in our system because we start trying to understand things like law of attraction. And there's too many people teaching it. There's too much going on, and I'll tell you why. The reason why it gets hard is because you start listening to the way one person teaches it, and then you hear somebody else do it different, and they're like, well, which one do I do? Right? And so then it's kind of back and forth. In the law of attraction, one of the first ideas I had ever heard about it was you just think about what you want. And the way the gal who was talking to me about it made it sound like you can just sit on the couch eating bonbons until it shows up. You just think about it, and you think about it, and you think about it some more, and you keep it so forefront in your mind that that's all you're thinking about, and then it starts manifesting and it comes to you. That's awesome, but she could never make it work. And maybe once in a while, she had a few good stories about things that actually showed up, but they always showed up in kind of roundabout ways. And it was never the instantaneous, just like, boom, there it is kind of thing that you hear some people talk about. And so I was always kind of curious. But what I know now about this kind of stuff, and when you think about, the quantum part of it, and you also understand the brain part of it, when you're sitting there thinking about something repetitively in a positive manner, this is simply just a practice of habituation. It is a way to train your subconscious mind, right? So by habituation, when you're repetitively doing something over and over and over, if you take the actions that follow next, you will probably start to see that thing show up in your life. If you hit the right note, and we'll go into this a little bit further as far as the vibration goes, that's when the magic can happen. So I was talking about 3 keys, that I think there's 3 keys to manifesting. The first part is your intention. The intention can be spoken or it can be thought form. It doesn't matter which. Spoken or thought, you'll probably do a little bit of both, because you'll say it out loud and then you'll refine it and then you'll just think about it and think about it. And that intention is what starts to rev your system up. If you're one of the people who feels easily, you'll start getting a feeling to it. A feeling of anticipation, a feeling of excitement, a feeling of maybe freedom. Like, there's all kinds of different words we can start associating to whatever it is you're manifesting. And so that's the second part of it, is you have to feel it. So number 1, the first key is you have to have some kind of intention set, thought or feeling. Now, in some forms of manifesting and law of attraction ideas, some people say get super, super specific and define exactly what you want. And other people say don't, keep it general. And we'll talk about that more in a second. On the feeling part of it, the feeling's just the feeling. And the bigger you can make the feeling, the more you can feel it, that's when magic really starts to happen. And we'll talk about the feeling more in a second too. Now, the third part is, do I just let it go after that? Do I think it, feel it, and then just let it go, put it in the universe and let it go? Or do I do it again and again? And this, again, depends on who you're listening to. And here's what I say to all of that. Whatever you decide to do, believe that what you're doing is going to work, and then do it consistently. Either do the thing and let it go, or, right, the habituation idea, do it and do it and do it and do it until it shows up. But do whatever you're doing consistently, because you will send a more consistent stream of vibration of whatever level you're feeling than if you're questioning, do I do it this way? Do I do it that way? When you start questioning, you're causing kind of a rift in the vibration of it. Does that make sense? You get a little bit of doubt. You're not really sure. And in that unsureness, in that feeling of doubt, do I do it this way or do I do it this way? You cause a disconnection in the vibration. It's an incoherent frequency. All right. So we want to keep that as coherent as possible. You want to keep the vibration in a nice steady stream. And the only way you can do that is with consistency with whatever you decide to do, and then truly believe it's going to work. It's as easy as that. It seriously is. And it's interesting to me how hard we have made all of this. Law of attraction, by definition, is attracting what you're wanting, right? And if you think about it, it's kind of karma. It is a form of karma. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get back out. Get back out. Excuse me. It's the idea of reaping and sowing, right? This is in all different kinds of sacred texts, ancient texts. It's in all kinds of writings. The same idea, spoken differently, but it's all the same thing. Whatever you put into the system is what you're going to get back out of it. So if you're sitting there telling yourself what you don't want, what you're doing is sending your energy, because you're putting your focus and your attention on it, to whatever it is you don't want. And that's what's going to start showing up. So don't word whatever it is you're manifesting in the form of a negative. If I want a new car, don't walk around talking about what kind of cars you don't want. Talk about what you do want. What is it I want to see? I want to see a blue BMW. I don't even know too much about cars, so I have no idea. But whatever you want, define it by what you want, not by what you don't want. I heard somebody talking about this not too long ago, and I was just cracking up because they had a list of stuff that they don't want in their relationship. And when you stop and ask him, well, what do you want? He couldn't even tell you. He didn't know what he wanted. He just knows what he didn't want. And so that's what he kept seeing, was what he didn't want, because it's what he kept repeating. Does that make sense? So how do you do this? You set an intention. Those of you who have worked with me before and know me really well know that I love index cards. I have this thing about index cards. I have them all over the place, like seriously all over the place. And I will sit down and write down my intention. This is what I want, right? This is what it is across the top of the card. And then I'll list a whole list of what will I see when that happens. So think about this thing that you're manifesting as if it's finished. You want it to be done. And one of the feelings that you want to feel is gratitude, because gratitude is the energy signal of completion. As if it's finished. I'm so grateful I've already got this thing, even when you don't see it, right? We call this faith above reason. Faith above reason. And the reason is because you don't have it in your hand yet. I am just going to sit here and have faith that it's going to show up because I can feel it. And when you can feel it so strong that you know that you know that you know, that's when, and what I always feel in my system when I'm doing my work is when I'm working on attaining something, I'll feel this like, it's almost like a puzzle piece snapping into place. It's the craziest feeling. And the second that happens, I know that I know that I know. And then I just wait. I just sit back. And usually it's a shortened period of time. Something that I normally would have sat down and said, that's going to take forever. It just all of a sudden starts showing up. And then it starts showing up in more places than just one, which is even more interesting. So consistency counts. The level of feeling counts. That equates to your vibration. Your intention in thought and spoken form count. What do you want? What do you want? What does it feel like? What does that feel like? Here's another interesting problem with manifesting, or the law of attraction, is most people are asking for things they have no idea what it could feel like. They have no idea. And so how do you find that level of feeling to get you there? Use something else that feels like that. The sunrise, the sunset, something that puts you in a deep state of awe and you feel your heart open up and you can sense the gratitude and the love. It doesn't matter what you're grateful for. The feeling is the same. It doesn't matter when you're standing there watching the sunset, what that feeling is in love. It's still the same feeling, even if you're looking at it for something else. And so you can feel that feeling in regards to whatever you're watching over here, the sunrise, the sunset, or like me in the night sky, watching the stars. You can feel it by doing that, and then shift your focus to this thing you're manifesting. And you're attaching that level of vibration to that thing that you're manifesting. Does that make sense? All right, I hope that helps. This was about 3 keys to manifesting and activating the law of attraction, and how it's most effectively used. This is how I do it. It's how I teach it. I think it's just the easiest way to do it. If you can have faith above reason and you can understand and comprehend that, you bypass all of this. That's an interesting one, isn't it? I'll let you think on that one for a while. We'll see if anybody asks questions about it. I bless you. I bless your manifestations. I bless your level of feeling that it gets higher and higher and higher. Contact me if you need to. I'm at Christy@mindrewire.com, and we'll see you again soon.